How the new leadership will address tensions in Israel and Gaza. The Middle East has long been a region characterized by political volatility, particularly when it comes to the long-standing conflict between Israel and Gaza. Over the decades, various leaders from both sides, as well as from the international community, have attempted to broker peace or maintain stability, but tensions continue to flare. With a new leader emerging in Israel, questions abound as to how they will address the complex and often explosive relationship between Israel and Gaza. This video aims to explore the potential shifts in leadership, their policies, and the broader implications of their actions for the ongoing crisis between Israel and Gaza. The political landscape of Israel and Gaza. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, particularly the ongoing tensions with Gaza, is one of the most enduring and contentious conflicts in the world. Gaza, home to nearly 2 million Palestinians, is governed by Hamas, a militant group that has been in power since 2007. Israel, on the other hand, has maintained control over the territory's borders, airspace, and access to resources, including water and electricity, contributing to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The political environment surrounding this conflict is deeply entrenched in historical grievances, religious tensions, and competing nationalist narratives. Over the years, there have been multiple rounds of peace talks, ceasefires, and military operations, but none have resulted in a lasting resolution. The policies of the new leadership in Israel are crucial in determining whether these tensions will continue to escalate, or whether there will be opportunities for peace or de-escalation. Leadership in Israel, a turning point for policy. Israel's leadership has traditionally been split between parties that favor a hardline approach and those who advocate for diplomacy. The country's political landscape is fragmented, with right-wing and left-wing factions often having starkly different visions for Israel's future and its relationship with the Palestinians. A new leader could signal a shift in this delicate balance, either hardening Israel's stance on security or opening new avenues for dialogue and potential peace. Hardline security measures. Military aggression. One of the most likely policy directions for a new Israeli leader who takes a hardline stance would be a continuation or escalation of military operations against Hamas in Gaza. Israel has frequently conducted airstrikes in response to rocket fire from Gaza, and a new leader with a security-first agenda may intensify these operations, prioritizing the destruction of Hamas infrastructure and leadership. This could lead to further destruction and loss of life in Gaza, as well as an increase in retaliatory violence from Hamas and other militant groups. Border security and blockades. Another area where Israel's new leadership could focus is on the reinforcement of security along the Gaza border. The blockade that Israel has imposed on Gaza since 2007 has contributed to severe humanitarian conditions, but it is also viewed by Israel as a critical measure to prevent the smuggling of weapons into Gaza. A new Israeli leader with a security-focused agenda might tighten these measures further, justifying them as necessary to prevent Hamas from acquiring advanced weaponry. This could exacerbate the economic and humanitarian crisis in Gaza, but it might be seen as essential from Israel's perspective. Settlement expansion. In the West Bank, Israel has continued its policy of settlement expansion, which has been one of the primary sources of tension between Israel and the Palestinians. A new Israeli leader, particularly from the right wing, may seek to expand settlements in the West Bank, further complicating any potential peace process. This would likely heighten tensions with Gaza and the broader Palestinian territories, as Palestinians view settlement expansion as a direct challenge to their territorial claims. Potential for diplomatic engagement. On the other hand, Israel's new leadership may take a more diplomatic approach, seeking to ease tensions with Gaza through negotiations, humanitarian aid, or even renewed peace talks. While many right-wing factions in Israel are skeptical of direct negotiations with Hamas due to its militant nature, more centrist or left-wing leaders may view dialogue as essential to preventing further escalation. Humanitarian aid to Gaza. A leader with a focus on diplomacy might work to ease the blockade and allow for increased humanitarian aid into Gaza, including medicine, food, and other essentials. Given the dire humanitarian conditions in Gaza, this could be an important step and alleviating some of the suffering, without giving Hamas an upper hand in terms of military power. This policy shift would also align with international calls for humanitarian relief and could help improve Israel's relations with global powers, especially in Europe. Engaging with the Palestinian Authority. The Palestinian Authority, PA, which governs the West Bank, has been at odds with Hamas for years. A new Israeli leadership might try to reignite negotiations with the PA, creating a potential diplomatic bridge for dialogue with Gaza. This could be done through indirect means, such as offering economic incentives or facilitating international mediation efforts. While this approach would likely face resistance from hardline factions, it could be an important first step in breaking the cycle of violence. International diplomacy and pressure. Israel's new leadership will undoubtedly be under pressure from the international community, particularly from the United States, the European Union, and neighboring Arab states. If Israel's new leader is open to international diplomacy, they may seek to re-enter talks with the Palestinians and engage with Arab nations to help de-escalate tensions in Gaza. International mediation could play a crucial role in encouraging a ceasefire and reducing hostilities. Hamas in Gaza. The role of new leadership. Hamas, the militant organization that controls Gaza, has long been a critical player in the conflict. It is regarded as a terrorist group by Israel, the United States, and the European Union. However, it enjoys significant support in Gaza due to its provision of social services, including schools, hospitals, and food assistance, as well as its resistance to Israeli occupation. Hamas is unlikely to change its stance toward Israel under new leadership in Israel, particularly since its primary goal is the establishment of a Palestinian state encompassing all of historic Palestine. However, the group's tactics and willingness to engage in ceasefires or negotiations could shift based on how Israel's new leader approaches Gaza. Consolidating power in Gaza. Hamas faces its own challenges within Gaza, including internal divisions, economic struggles, and mounting pressure from the international community. The group may see the new Israeli leadership as an opportunity to consolidate its power by capitalizing on any perceived weaknesses in Israel's policies. For instance, if Israel's new leader takes a softer approach, Hamas could use this as a chance to bolster its position by framing itself as the true representative of Palestinian resistance. On the other hand, if Israel's new leadership adopts a more hardline approach, Hamas might engage in a cycle of escalation, launching rocket attacks into Israel and provoking retaliatory airstrikes. In either case, Hamas's role in the ongoing conflict remains central, and its reaction to the new Israeli leadership will significantly influence the trajectory of tensions in Gaza. Possible paths for diplomacy with Hamas. While direct negotiations with Hamas have been largely avoided in the past, some Israeli leaders have occasionally shown openness to exploring indirect talks, particularly through intermediaries. If Israel's new leader is willing to engage with Hamas diplomatically, it could create the groundwork for some form of truce or ceasefire agreement, even if this is only temporary. However, such a policy shift would face intense opposition from those who view Hamas as an uncompromising adversary. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.